Welcome back to the channel. So Trump's ambassador to Canada is back, and once again, Pete Hoekstra has some thoughts. You might remember him as the guy who couldn't understand why Canadians were so negative about Trump's America. According to him, that attitude was just perplexing. While in a fresh interview, Hoekstra casually waved off Canada's concerns over Trump's 25% tariffs on cars and parts and a whopping 50% tariff on steel and aluminium. Hoekstra says it's not going to have a dramatic impact. Then in the very next breath, he said, well, okay, some impact, but nothing that will fundamentally damage the relationship. That'll come as a surprise to Canada's entire steel industry, which has warned of catastrophic job losses, factory slowdowns, and shattered supply chains. Cobden told the Financial Times that at 50%, the tariffs effectively closed the US markets to Canadian steel. But Hoekstra's advice, don't worry, just wait a couple of years. He's sure there'll be a new trade deal soon. Eventually. This is the same ambassador who also scolded Canadians for bringing up that old 51st state joke. He said that wasn't coming from Trump anymore and that Canadians should move on. Except almost immediately afterward, Trump posted on his own social platform that Ottawa was considering it. So it seems Hoekstra doesn't speak for his boss. Duly noted. Meanwhile, the real-world impact of these tariffs is becoming clearer. The OECD just revised its global economic forecast, saying Trump's tariffs are going to hit world growth even harder than expected. The slowdown? Concentrated in 4 countries. The US itself, of course, Mexico, China, and yes, you guessed it, Canada. And although a recent US court struck down many of Trump's tariffs, ruling his emergency powers were misused, the steel and auto tariffs still stand. Will Trump back down? Maybe. He has before. But in the meantime, real businesses and real people are dealing with the real fallout. Canada's trade minister is in Washington trying to get those tariffs lifted, ideally before the upcoming G7 summit. But good luck negotiating with people whose statements might just get nuked by Trump's next tweet. So what's Canada doing about it? Enter Prime Minister Mark Carney, newly elected and already making moves. He's fast-tracking major national projects, pipelines, infrastructure to reduce Canada's reliance on the US. Unlike Trump's Golden Dome missile defense system, available for a cool $61 billion, Carney wants to actually build things that work. Even Alberta's oil industry is cautiously optimistic. Lisa Baton, head of the Petroleum Producers Association, said there's been a significant change in tone from the new federal government. Mark Carney has said strengthening trade with the world will be key. Of course, building fast comes with trade-offs. Environmental standards, indigenous rights, local communities. Those debates are still vital. But right now, Canada is staring at the edge of the precipice and needs to build smartly, swiftly, and sustainably. Because in the long run, Canada's best answer to America's chaos might just be become less vulnerable to the US. Bit by bit, project by project, Canada is laying the groundwork to be a country that's more independent, more resilient, and more global. And if that day comes when people look back and ask, how did Canada do it? Well, don't expect Ambassador Hoekstra to know the answer. If you enjoyed this breakdown, give it a like, subscribe for more deep dives into global politics and economic shifts, and let me know in the comments, is Canada finally breaking out of America's economic shadow? I'll see you in the next one.